You are 19 years old, attending a state university whose tuition exceeds your parents' combined yearly salary. Financial aid takes care of the classes, but it doesn't address anything beyond that. You inhabit a dorm room the size of a compact car, sharing it with a kid from Connecticut. He has a credit card without a spending limit and a counterfeit ID that opens every door on the main strip. You have neither of those things. You handle the late shift at the university dining hall 4 nights a week for $9.50 an hour. Your job involves scraping crusted pasta from trays and mopping floors that reek of bleach and broken dreams. You return to your room at midnight just as everyone else is heading out. Their voices carry through the thin walls, the sounds of pre-gaming, the laughter, the departure. You remain behind, studying, convincing yourself that this is the responsible choice. The responsible choice smells like industrial-grade cleaner and pays $9.50 an hour. You're a graphic design student and you're genuinely skilled, not just as a hobby, but with professional-level talent. You can identify fonts purely by sight. You can balance the colors in a photograph in under a minute. You grasp the concepts of layers, masks, and vector tracing with the same instinct most people apply to breathing. Your instructors believe you have a bright future. That future requires money you simply do not possess. Your roommate, Kyle, misplaces his fake ID at a bar one Thursday. He's annoyed about it for less than an hour. Then, he half-jokingly asks if you could fabricate a new one for him. You share a laugh. He pulls up a picture of his old ID on his phone. You examine it with the critical eye of a mechanic inspecting an engine. You discern the layers. You recognize the typeface. You spot the microprinting along the border. You are looking at a document created by a graphic designer, and that's precisely what you are. Kyle turns in for the night. You do not. At 1 a.m, you launch Photoshop. You locate a template online, but it's absolute junk. The font is incorrect, the layout is off, the header's color is wrong. You correct it. You correct every single flaw. By 4 a.m., you've crafted a template that's a more faithful replica of a real ID than the one Kyle lost. You print it on Teslin paper using the inkjet printer you purchased for your design courses. You trim it carefully. You laminate it inside a butterfly pouch. You hold it next to Kyle's authentic driver's license from his home state. It isn't flawless, but it's very close. It's close enough to deceive a bouncer inspecting IDs at 11 p.m. in a poorly lit bar. Kyle uses it that Friday. It scans. He buys you a beer with it, your inaugural payment. 1 beer. He mentions it to 3 of his friends. Those 3 friends tell 3 more. By the following Monday, you have 11 requests waiting in your DMs. $80 per ID. That comes to $880. Your dining hall job pays $9.50 an hour. Earning $880 there would take 92 hours of scraping dried food off plates. You accept all 11 orders. You purchase more Teslin paper and a superior laminator. You invest $400 in materials and generate $880 in revenue your first week. A net profit of $480 earned from your dorm room, in your underwear, while Kyle watches a movie just a few feet away. The dining hall shift suddenly seems ludicrous. You continue working it because the job is your alibi, and your alibi is what makes you invisible. Invisibility is crucial when you're committing a felony inside a state-owned facility. Level 1, the template. By your second month, you have produced 43 identification cards. You sell them for $80 a piece, or $110 for a pair. Duplicates are a smart upsell. Customers inevitably lose the first one at a bar and need a replacement. The majority of your clients opt for the duplicate. You've cleared just over $4,000. The cash is stored in a shoebox in your closet, tucked behind your textbooks. Design theory in the front, federal crime in the back. You get better. You invest $320 in a dye sublimation printer. The quality improves dramatically. Teslin paper was adequate for dimly lit bars, but dye sublimation on PVC cardstock is good enough for anywhere. The colors are more vibrant. The edges are perfectly clean. The cards have the right weight and feel in your hand. They feel like legitimate IDs because they are made from the same material as legitimate IDs. The holograms present the biggest challenge. Every state ID features a holographic overlay. It's the one security feature bouncers consistently check. You discover a supplier on a web forum. He ships holographic overlays from a warehouse in Shenzhen. They cost 28 cents per unit if you order 500. You buy 500. They show up in a nondescript brown package 3 weeks later. You affix them using a heat press you found at a craft store. The holograms shimmer in the light just like the real ones. Not a perfect match, but close enough that a 23-year-old bouncer earning $14 an hour won't spot the difference. You decide to specialize in 3 states, Ohio, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. You selected them because their security measures are relatively uncomplicated and because your clientele is mostly from the Northeast. A fake ID from a northeastern state doesn't raise suspicion at a bar in a southeastern college town. You construct a template for each of the 3 states. You invest weeks refining the fonts, the microprint, the positioning of the ghost image, and the barcode encoding. You acquire software that can generate scannable barcodes. Your IDs now scan. This is the feature that separates an $80 ID from a $150 ID. Your IDs scan. You need photographs. Customers send you selfies that look like they were taken during an earthquake. You correct every single one. You perform white background extraction, color correction, proper centering, and resizing to the correct pixel dimensions. You accomplish in 90 seconds what the DMV does in a dedicated photo booth. The resulting photos look more professional than those on actual licenses. Your roommate Kyle evolves into your middleman. Kyle is a social butterfly. He handles communication, collects the photos and the money, and delivers the finished products. You pay Kyle a $20 commission for each ID. For Kyle, this is just a side hustle. For you, it's a business. That distinction is important. By the 4th month, you're manufacturing 30 IDs per week. At $80 each, that's $2,400 a week. After paying Kyle's commission and covering supply costs, you clear approximately $1,800 weekly. That's $7,200 a month. You quit the dining hall job. You inform your parents that you've secured a paid position at the campus design lab. They are incredibly proud. The design lab, of course, closes at 6 p.m. Your real work begins after midnight. Level 2, the operation. Your identification cards start to build a reputation. Not your personal name, but your brand. Customers refer to them as ghosts because someone remarked that the holograms looked ethereal in certain light and the nickname stuck. You never try to change it. A brand is superior to a name. A name leads to your capture. A brand leads to your profit. You begin recruiting resellers, 3 students on 3 separate campuses in 3 different states. Each reseller gathers orders from their local campus and sends you a consolidated batch of photos and names every Sunday evening. You manufacture the IDs from Monday to Wednesday. You ship them out on Thursday using flat rate envelopes. The IDs are concealed within hollowed out textbooks, calculus textbooks. Nobody ever voluntarily opens a calculus textbook. Each reseller sells the IDs for $120 and retains a $40 commission. You still receive your standard $80. but now that amount is being multiplied across 4 different campuses, including your own. You're producing between 80 and 100 IDs weekly. Your gross revenue is $8,000 per week. Your net profit, after accounting for supplies and commissions, is around $5,200 a week. That's $20,800 a month. You are 20 years old and you earn more than your parents' combined income. The entire enterprise is managed through Snapchat and Signal. Orders are placed via disappearing messages. Payments are sent through Venmo and Cash App with memo lines like pizza, textbooks, or concert tickets. Nothing that points to the real transaction. You convert these digital payments into physical cash through a contact named Darnell, who operates a cash conversion service for a 15% fee. Darnell never inquires about the source of the funds. Darnell's 15% is the price of erasing the paper trail. You move out of the dorms and into a 1-bedroom apartment off campus. You tell your parents that the design lab promoted you. Your mother sends you a congratulations card with a $20 bill inside. You place the 20 into the shoebox. The shoebox is now kept on the top shelf of your closet. The shoebox contains $11,000. You count it every Sunday. Counting the money is the only part of this that feels tangible. Your product quality improves yet again. You invest in UV reactive ink. Authentic IDs have security elements that fluoresce under a black light. Bouncers at upscale clubs often use UV flashlights to check. Your previous IDs would fail this test. Your new ones pass. You charge $150 for the UV enhanced version. Most customers are willing to pay the premium. Your profit margins expand. The risk, you believe, remains constant. You begin to receive orders from individuals you've never met, on campuses you've never set foot on. Your resellers now have their own resellers. The supply chain is now 2 degrees of separation away from you. A student on a campus in Alabama places an order for a ghost through a contact who knows a contact who knows your reseller at the University of Georgia. You never interact with the end customer. You never even learn their name. You simply receive a photograph and a Snapchat message, and $80 materializes in your Venmo account. You manufacture the ID. You ship the textbook. The customer is a complete stranger who will use your creation to purchase alcohol, get into clubs, and perhaps one day present it to a bouncer who then hands it to a law enforcement agent who traces it all the way back to you. Every single ID you create is a potential liability. Every single one is a thread leading back to your apartment. You just aren't able to see those threads yet. The thought of stopping crosses your mind. You consider it in the same way you consider going to the gym. You understand that you should. You know all the reasons why. But you don't. The money won't allow you to stop. An income of $20,000 a month doesn't just disappear without a fight. Your apartment now has real furniture. Your closet is filled with clothes that didn't come from a big box store. You dine at actual restaurants. You bought your mom a new microwave for Christmas, claiming you saved up from your design lab job. She hugged you and told you how proud she was. You let her feel that pride. The hug felt like a betrayal, but the microwave works perfectly and she uses it every single day. Level 3, the network. A bouncer at a nightclub in Tallahassee confiscates one of your IDs, not because it appears counterfeit, but because the person using it is clearly 17 and barely 5'2", while the ID claims he is 22 and 5'11". The bouncer turns it over to an agent from the Alcohol Beverage Control Unit who is conducting a routine compliance check that evening. The ABC agent inspects the ID under a magnifying loupe. He zeroes in on the microprint along the border. It's fractionally too thick. Every ghost ID you've ever made shares this exact same imperfection. He has collected 11 ghosts in the past 3 months, all from the same source template, all with the identical microprint error. He opens a new case file. The ABC agent makes contact with the U.S. Secret Service. The public is largely unaware that the Secret Service is responsible for investigating document fraud. The common belief is that their only duty is to protect the president. That's incorrect. They investigate counterfeit currency and fraudulent documents, and they are exceptionally skilled at it. A Secret Service agent based in the Jacksonville field office takes over the case. She issues a request for all confiscated ghost IDs from bars and clubs across the Southeast. Within 3 weeks, she has 47 of them. 47 IDs, all from a single creator. The same 3 states. The same microprint flaw. The same holographic alignment. One single source. She investigates the holograms. The overlays possess a unique refractive pattern. She cross-references this pattern with a supplier in Shenzhen who ships to 14 different addresses in the United States. She subpoenas the shipping manifest. One of those 14 addresses is a 1-bedroom apartment situated near a state university. Your apartment. She follows the money trail. Venmo and Cash App have identity verification requirements. Darnell's cash out service left digital footprints that Darnell was unaware of. Darnell begins cooperating the very same afternoon that agents knock on his door. Darnell provides them with everything: account usernames, transaction histories, and dollar amounts. Your name appears 63 times. She analyzes the shipping patterns. Flat rate envelopes, dispatched every Thursday from the exact same post office. A postal inspector retrieves the security camera footage. It shows a 20-year-old in a college sweatshirt mailing 5 to 8 packages every Thursday afternoon. It shows you. Every Thursday. The same post office. The same service window. The postal clerk remembers your face. They don't come for you first. They arrest your resellers. All 3 of them on the same morning in different states. The reseller at the university in Georgia confesses in under 40 minutes. He gives them your name, your apartment address, your Snapchat username, and the critical detail that you shipped the IDs concealed within hollowed-out calculus textbooks. The agent makes a note of the textbook method. She has encountered many concealment techniques. The textbook one is a first. They come for you on a Wednesday. You are in your apartment. The dye sublimation printer is on your desk. The PVC cardstock is in your closet. The holographic overlays are in a drawer. The shoebox is on the top shelf. There is 0 ambiguity when they enter. The entire apartment is an exhibit of evidence. The Secret Service agent presents you with the case file. It's substantial. 47 confiscated IDs, financial records, shipping surveillance footage, statements from your resellers. Your microprint error is documented in a 12-page forensic analysis. 12 pages dedicated to a line that was infinitesimally too thick. Kyle is present in the room when they knock. Kyle, who gathered the photos. Kyle, who delivered the finished IDs. Kyle, who earned $20 per card and viewed it as a casual side gig. Kyle is arrested as well. Kyle's parents retain a lawyer that very afternoon. Your parents cannot afford to hire a lawyer. Your parents were completely unaware of any of this until they received a phone call from the police station. The sound of your mother's voice on the line is like the sound of something shattering that can never be put back together. Level 4. The textbook. The charges are federal: manufacturing and distributing fraudulent identification documents, mail fraud for the shipments, and conspiracy for running the network. The conspiracy charge is the one with the most severe penalty. You are facing a potential sentence of 3 to 7 years. Your court-appointed public defender enters into negotiations. You cooperate fully. You give them the details of the supplier in Shenzhen. You provide them with the complete scope of Darnell's operation. You hand over every saved reseller communication on your phone. Kyle's lawyer negotiates on his behalf, separately. Kyle is sentenced to probation because his role was limited to delivery, and his parents' lawyer bills at $400 an hour. You cannot afford $400 an hour. You can't even afford $40. The shoebox and all its contents have been seized. Everything is gone. You plead guilty to manufacturing fraudulent documents and mail fraud. You are sentenced to 22 months in a federal correctional facility. You are 20 years old. You will be 22 when you are released. The judge says 22 months. The number mirrors your age upon your exit. 22 months. 22 years old. The symmetry in the numbers is purely coincidental, and it is brutal. Your mother visits once a month. She makes the 3-hour drive each way. She sits with you across a table and asks you about the food. You tell her the food is fine. Fine means what it has always meant. It means that something is deeply wrong, but sharing the specifics would not help anyone. She brings you magazines, design magazines. She believes you will resume your studies when you get out. You allow her to believe this because the alternative is a conversation that neither of you has the strength to endure. You are released on a Monday, after 22 months. You return to your parents' house. You sleep in the bedroom of your childhood. The old posters are still on the walls. The trophies from your high school football days are still on the shelves. You are 22 years old. You live with your parents. You have a federal criminal record and a graphic design degree you were never able to complete. You apply for jobs in the design field. No one will hire a convicted felon for a role that demands trust with sensitive documents. The irony is pointed and unyielding. You were too proficient at design. You were so proficient that you use your talent to commit a federal crime, and now the skill and the crime are inextricably linked. No potential employer can perceive one without also seeing the other. You find a job at a local print shop. You earn $13 an hour. You print business cards, wedding invitations, and flyers for real estate agents. The machinery is identical. The same models of printers, the same laminators, the same cardstock. You are using the same skills for $13 an hour that once earned you $20,000 a month. The muscle memory is exactly the same, only the purpose has changed. The purpose is the only thing that is different. Kyle graduated from college. He participated in the commencement ceremony in May. Kyle's conviction was expunged from his record after he completed his probation because his lawyer filed the correct legal motion with the correct judge at the correct moment. Kyle now works at an advertising agency in New York City, earning $75,000 a year. He posts about his life on Instagram. You see these posts from your childhood bedroom. Kyle collected the photos. Kyle delivered the IDs. Kyle walked free. You did not. The real difference between you and Kyle was not what you did. It was what you could afford to pay for when you were caught. Your mother still has the congratulations card she sent when you told her you were promoted at the design lab. It's kept in a kitchen drawer. She never discarded it. You discovered it last week while searching for a pen. You held it, read her words, and knew the $20 bill she had enclosed was gone. You put it in the shoebox. The shoebox was seized as evidence, and so the $20 your mother sent to celebrate a non-existent job is now sitting in an evidence locker in a federal building in Jacksonville. That is the final calculation. That is always the final calculation. The math ultimately takes everything, even the parts that were once honest. Hit the like button if that math resonated with you. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next.